Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Jai Gurudev. Is my volume sufficient? Just let me know if it is.
Yes, yes.
It's fine, right? Okay.
Fine,
Yeah.
fine.
So we started verse number 22 yesterday. Yadricha labha santushtaha dvandvatito vimatsaraha samasiddhava siddhaucha kritvapi nani badhyate. That is, one who is happy with whatever comes by chance. That is yadricha labha santushtaha dvandvatitaha vimatsaraha. Dvandvatitaha, one who is unaffected by the opposites. Vimatsaraha, one who is free from jealousy. Siddhau, with reference to success. Asiddhaucha, and with reference to failure. Samaha, one who is even-minded. Kritva api, even though performing action. Na nibadhyate, is not bound. So the one who is happy with whatever comes by chance, who is unaffected by the opposites, free from jealousy and even-minded with reference to success and failure, is not bound even though performing actions. Labha in the compound yadricha labha santishta refers to something that you gain yadrichaya, by chance, without any planning or scheming. In other words, whatever chance brings is yadricha labha. A wise person is called a yadricha labha santushta in this verse because he or she is totally happy with whatever comes by chance, even in terms of basic necessities. If, for example, he goes out for his bhiksha and he gets something which is out of the ordinary, he is not going to be overly elated. If he gets a jalebi, for example, he's not going to be overly elated. A wise person is called Yadricha Labha Santushta in this verse because he or she is totally happy with whatever comes by chance, even in terms of basic necessities. This same person is also called Dvandvatita, one who is above all the opposites, who is not caught on either side of these opposites or in between. People tend to swing from one extreme to the other and can therefore get caught at either end or in between. And what are these opposites, dvandvas? Cold and hot, Shita and Ushna are one set of opposites, either of which can make a person unhappy. In the winter, the person complains of cold, and in the summer, he or she finds it too hot. And the 2 months in between, 1 month of spring and 1 month of autumn, are spent saying, oh, the summer is coming soon and it will be so hot. And then, oh, the winter is coming soon and it will be so cold. In this way, the entire year is spent complaining about either the heat or the cold. And every year is the same. Thus, for those who get caught in the extremes or in between, everything is a matter for complaint. This is in fact the lot of all samsaris. When there is some sukha, something comfortable, the person is up. And when there is anything uncomfortable, dukkha, the person is down. The dvandvatita is one who is sama, who has an inner composure with respect to all the opposites. Such composure is natural in one who can see akarma in karma, because the person who knows Atma is a non-doer. And because this composure, Ananda, is the person's nature, it never goes away. Success and failure, victory and defeat, and so on, are all varieties of opposites upon which the Dvandvatita does not depend for his or her security and happiness. Whereas other people are always caught by these opposites. Because one makes you happy, the other, its opposite, makes you unhappy. The wise person, however, is above these opposites, meaning that he or she can be objective towards them and do whatever is to be done without coming under their spell. This person is therefore called Dvandvatita. So rather than swing from one extreme to the other like a yo-yo, the happiness is the nature. So that never goes away. And therefore, he is not dependent on any of this sukha or absence of dukkha. He is above the pairs of opposites. Whenever we complain equals samsara. Contentment is a sign of being liberated, free from it. The middle way is a means. To be above the opposites is different from the middle path. Which is only a sadhana, a means. See, the middle path is we can align that with karma yoga, because in karma yoga you are taking the middle path. You are neutral to whatever happens. But being neutral is not the same as being above. A person who lives according to the middle path, sometimes called the middle way or the golden way, is between the opposites and not at either extreme. Extremes are always a problem because they become fads. To avoid faddism, which is not a very happy situation, some people do not veer to either side, but remain in the middle in everything. As a sadhana, means the middle path is considered to be the golden path. Then afterwards, you find that you are above the opposites, meaning that they are in your hands in the sense that they do not upset you at all. A person who is above the opposites no longer needs to take care about being in the middle. He or she is a dvandva atita, one who is naturally above the opposites. So it's like being a relative dvandvatita, being in the middle path. But absolute dvandvatita is when this karma yogi, or the one who is in the middle path, attains knowledge. Krishna further explains Advandvatita in the verse as Siddhau Asiddhaucha, Samaha, as one whose attitude towards success, Siddhi, and failure, Asiddhi, is the same. Because the person is Dvandvatita, he or she is not affected by any of the opposites, including success and failure. We must remember that the person being discussed in this verse is a sannyasi for whom success may mean nothing more than receiving some food or being able to go to a quiet place. To be unsuccessful then simply means that the person does not receive any food or is not able to go to a quiet place. Thus, there are certain successes and failures even for a sannyasi. But in either case, the person is always the same. The Jnani is also described here as Vimatsara. Matsara meaning jealousy. To say that a person who is content with whatever comes by chance and who is free from the opposites is also free from jealousy seems to be somewhat out of place. Why then would Krishna have said this? Matsara means jealousy, and it is one of the sixfold problems. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsara. Here, Krishna takes jealousy to represent all six. Thus, Matsara jealousy is an upalakshana for all of them. Upalakshana means using one member of a group to represent all the members of a group. Therefore, here, the person who is described as Vimatsara is free of all these sixfold problems. If this practice of taking one to cover all items in the group is not understood, the mention of Vimatsara, one who is free from jealousy here, will disturb the even flow of thought. It will lead one into a confusion in the sense, why was Matsara it seems out of place. But here, Matsara is like a Upalakshan. It is representing the whole group of the Arishad Vargas. We have seen the meaning of Matsara before. When someone is happy or seems to be happy, you become sad. You may think the person is happy because he or she has what you want, but the person may not be happy at all. Perhaps this person bought the house you wanted to buy, married the person you wanted to marry, or got the promotion you were after. If another person has anything that you value, it can create jealousy, matsara in you. Seeing someone's achievement, someone's success, you can be afflicted with a particular type of thinking, matsara, an emotion that makes you sad. Distorted thinking, right? So the six-fold problems are kama, desire, krodha, anger, lobha, greed, moha, delusion or false values, mada, vanity, and finally, jealousy, matsara. So matsara crops up when you think the other person has what you want. You're still in the wanting stage. You're still riddled with that karma. Without karma, matsara doesn't happen. Because you're still feeling insecure, you still feel incomplete. You want something to complete yourself, to feel complete. So you think the other person, your neighbor, is very happy because of so many things. Maybe he's got a new car or whatever. So what you want, and that makes you feel unhappy. It is a distorted way of thinking. It's an affliction of thinking. And that is why we have the beautiful sutras to maintain chitta prasadana by Maharshi Patanjali. He says, when you see happy people, what does he say? Be happy with them or be friendly with them. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upeksha. So when you're happy with happy people or you're friendly with happy people, then you will not feel this matsara doesn't happen. You will feel they belong to you, they are part of you. So you will not be jealous with your right hand because the left hand will not be jealous of the right hand because the right hand is giving something. Like that, when that sense of belongingness comes in, this matsara settles down.
And Jai Gurudev, another antidote is celebrating others' life.
Yeah.
Their success, everything. Be happy. Just feel that you are them and enjoy.
Mm.
Never feel jealous actually.
And all this comes because of comparison, right? And comparison comes when you see the other. When there is a separation, when you see the other is different from me. I mean, the example that just came up was when you have the 10th board exam results or the 12th board exam results, any public exam results come up. This can happen to parents, it can happen to students themselves. When they see the other is more successful than them, naturally there may be a sense of matsara that comes up. But if you look at it and process where is the origin of this, it is because you see the other as different from you. Number one. And you wanted to get good marks. You could not, but the other person got. So then jealousy creeps in. That is why, see, it's so beautiful that Gurudev has taken every aspect to every field. Sports, for example, when he says, aren't you going to be happy? How do you want your friends to be when you win? Do you want your friends to be upset or angry with you or feel jealous of you? You would want your friends to celebrate your success, like you rightly said right now. So then do the same when your friend wins. But we tend to forget this and we get back to the ignorant self that we are. And we think, oh, if I get that, I will feel complete. It is this forgetfulness of our true nature. Time and again, that makes us puppets puppets with respect to these Arishad Vargas. So that is why.
Jai Gurudev has given the Dik Namaskara, that also.
Which one?
That Dik Namaskar.
Drik Namaskara, right.
That,
The directions, right?
Yeah, directions. So
I think somehow I feel my volume is not high.
So he has given various techniques actually.
Correct. So many.
Yeah. We follow all that and come out of all this silly things.
Absolutely. If my audio is enough loud to all of you, that's fine. Otherwise, let me know. Huh?
It's okay, Brahmaraji. It's good.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Just put up the. Okay. We'll go to the sixfold afflictions. The sixfold afflictions. Krishna singles out jealousy here because it is the worst affliction among the six cited above. All six, in fact, are common to everyone. Because if a person feels incomplete, he or she has likes and dislikes called karma that have to be fulfilled in order to be happy and secure. And wherever there is karma, krodha, anger is possible. When someone or something stands between you and what you want, this obstruction turns your karma back. This reflected beam of desire is krodha, anger. Karma itself turns into krodha. When your desire, your expectation is not fulfilled, there is anguish, which turns into anger, and the obstruction becomes the target of your anger. Even if the obstruction is yourself, or not knowing who is responsible, you take your anger out on anyone or anything, even God. So where does it start? It starts with us feeling incomplete, insecure. Because of this, there is karma. How does karma come? Because there are likes and dislikes. Because you feel incomplete, there are likes and dislikes. And karma comes in. The desire comes to have what you like and avoid what you don't like. And when, if at all, there is any obstruction to this, then the beam of anger, reflected beam of desire, which is called krodha, can be directed to three things. One, to yourself. You can be angry with yourself. You can be angry with the person who is obstructing your desire, or you itself is misdirected desire. It's a reflexive beam of desire. And that can be directed to any of these. Then there is greed, lobha. Lobha is a problem for those who are so insecure that even if they have more than enough money, they cannot spend it on themselves or on others. And they think that they have to accumulate more. Like Kama and Krodha, Lobha is to be expected in one who is insecure, who is immature. Having false values is also a problem called moha. A person has false values because the society in which he or she grows up has false values. To think that the color of one's hair determines how much fun you will have, exemplified by the well-known expression, blondes have more fun, is a false value. What are the other false values that we get from the society? Money. You have money, you're successful. Success itself, the, the, the understanding of success itself, it depends on how the society has built up values around success. You have a big house, you're successful. You have luxurious cars, you're considered successful. You have a lot of money in your bank account, you're considered successful. You have power, name, and fame, you're considered successful. These are all the false values that determine that are causative for this moha, delusion. So having false values is also a problem. A person has false values because the society in which he or she grows up has false values. To think that the color, that is done. In the same way, a man may think he has made it only when he has a big boat, an apartment in Manhattan, and a cabin at Lake Tahoe. Since the society itself has these false values, moha is also to be expected. Because ultimately we live in society and are governed by and are influenced by the values that the society brings up. Every society has false values, and these false values are taught. They grow upon you. When, for instance, the society thinks that to be single means to be lonely, this particular thinking seeps into everyone's psyche. In fact, being single has nothing whatsoever to do with being lonely. A person is lonely when he or she is not understood by another person. Thus, if you want to be understood, you will be lonely. You can be lonely in the midst of 1,000,000 people. You can live in a house with 20 people and still be lonely, especially if you sit in a corner thinking that no one likes or understands you. So again, loneliness is a matter of thinking. You may be with a lot of people, but if you think nobody understands you, you feel singled out, you feel alone. This is another value that we build upon. We are taught as we grow up. To be single means to be lonely. That is a false value. Whereas, what did we learn in Bhagavad Gita? Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagarti samyami. Yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato mune. What is day to everybody else is night to the jnani. And what is night to the jnani is day to everybody else. Or what is day What is night for everyone is day to him, and vice versa. So even in a crowd, a jnani can still remain centered. He is not lonely. He can be all by himself and feel full. Society's false values are imbibed by the person. When you grow up in a society that has such values, naturally you are going to imbibe these values. This imbibing is natural, and whatever is imbibed can remain with you throughout your life. False values are very difficult to remove by vichara, inquiry, because they have rooted themselves so firmly. To shake them loose requires a lot of understanding. To think that money, power, or anything else will save you or make you somebody is all moha, delusion. However, given the false values of the society the person is brought up in, moha is understandable. Vanity, mada. Let me know if you want me to repeat this paragraph. So, when you grow up in a society that has such values, naturally you are going to imbibe these values. This imbibing is natural, and whatever is imbibed can remain with you throughout your life. False values are very difficult to remove by vichara because they are rooted themselves so firmly. To shake them loose requires a lot of understanding. To think that money, power, or anything else will save you or make you somebody is all moha, delusion. However, given the false values of the society the person is brought up in, moha is understandable. Vanity, mada, occurs when a person does not believe in his or her own capacity. Most people have an underlying sense that they are useless based on the humiliation they have experienced from the time when they were 3 years old. I repeat this, vanity mada occurs when a person does not believe in his or her own capacity. Most people have an underlying sense that they are useless based on the humiliation you are the only ego around. Your mother's ego, your father's ego, your sister's ego, and your brother's ego. You also discover that all these other egos are different from yours, and that yours is only one among the many. This discovery is the first humiliation, followed by many more. Not being first in the class, not winning the race, not coming even close, and so on. In the face of all this, how will the child look at himself or herself? And who is going to escape such humiliation? You will definitely look at yourself as incompetent in some ways, if not in all. See, vanity does not only mean I am great. I am not great also is vanity. I am incapable or I am. So when you don't know or believe in your own capacity is when mada happens, vanity. So the newborn baby does not have any ego, but as he or she grows up, around 2 years, there is an absolute ego, so to say. The terrible twos. They go around wanting to have, demanding only what they want. Then after when you become 3 years old, in fact, in child psychology, we say a 3-year-old is like a mini adult. He or she understands all the different emotions. So then you realize that there are other egos, your father's, your mother's, your brother, sister, and that becomes a humiliation. Because from that absolute ego that you were at 2 year old, you now have other egos also. This discovery is the first humiliation, followed by many more. You discover that your ego is just one among the many. Earlier, you thought you were the only one, but now it is one among the many. So that is the first humiliation. And then followed by many more, not being first in class, not winning a race, etc. So, how does a child look at himself or herself with this? And who is going to escape such humiliation? You will definitely look at yourself as incompetent in some ways, if not in all. That I am incompetent is the original problem. That I am incompetent is the original problem of everyone. No one need even tell you so. And if someone compliments you, you are very happy, taking it to be some grace you have received because you think of yourself as incompetent. Even if you are competent in certain ways, this conclusion that I am incompetent is unavoidable. And when a person who thinks this way happens to accomplish something, vanity, mada, may be the result, which is nothing but another form of inferiority complex. Because I cannot stand my incompetence, I have to pump myself up with a certain type of thinking or boasting. Oh, I am so wonderful, and so on. This vanity, mada, is also understandable given that people take themselves to be generally incompetent. A very beautiful way in which this mada is, the origins of mada have been described. So the original problem is incompetence.
Inferiority complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just superiority. Superiority complex you impose upon yourself to get out of this feeling inferior. That is vanity. So that I am incompetent is the original problem of everyone. No one need even tell you so. And if someone compliments you, you are very happy, taking it to be some grace you have received because you think of yourself as incompetent. Whereas look at a jnani, look at Gurudev. So many people praise him so much on stage. When you just look at him, you just have to watch him. He's unflustered at all. Whereas when anybody praises us, you will see, till then there's no smile on the face. There's a smile that comes up. Right? You feel expansive because someone is praising you. Why? Because originally we think we are not worthy of praise. So when we get praised, we suddenly become elated. And of course, the same thing, when someone humiliates us, what happens is the smile fades away. Whereas Gurudev, if you remember, during the World Culture Festival in 2016, 16 it was, right? 16 March in Delhi, there was a green tribunal that came up and it was a national, international, it was up on there in the news. He had to face so many accusations. But was he flustered? Despite that, just imagine, we think what someone in the family or some friend says something derogatory to us, we think the world has come crushing down. But he had to face such a disgrace. So one who feels complete from within, nothing can be Nothing can shake him or her. So even if you are competent in certain ways, this conclusion that I'm incompetent is unavoidable. And when a person who thinks this way happens to accomplish something, vanity, mada, may be the result, which is nothing but another form of inferiority complex. That is why, what is a karma yoga? What does karma yoga? Living a life of a karma yoga imply? Whatever you get, the result, take it as prasada. Whether it's praise or disgrace. When you take it as prasada, where are you? You're walking the middle path. You're neutral to it. Because I cannot stand my incompetence, I have to pump myself up with a certain type of thinking or boasting. Oh, I am so wonderful, and so on. This vanity, mada, is also understandable given that people take themselves to be generally incompetent. Jealousy, the least legitimate affliction of all. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, and Mada are all legitimate problems in that they are understandable. But why does a person become unhappy when someone else is happy? When someone is happy, can I not at least be happy that someone, thank God, is happy? This kind of happiness is surely a very simple thing. To see that someone is happy because he or she has got something, and to be happy for the person costs me nothing. I can work for the same thing and also get it. Instead, however, there can be unhappiness called jealousy, which is the most illegitimate of the sixfold problems. Therefore, of the six, Krishna singles out jealousy by saying that the wise person is free from jealousy. He is called a Vimatsara. So if he is Vimatsara, it means automatically he is free from all the other seven, all the other five. To be free from jealousy, Matsara, is also to be free from desire, anger, greed, false values, and vanity. Together, these are the sixfold afflictions or enemies, the Shad Ripus. The verse goes on to say that even though this wise person performs action, he or she is not bound. Kritva api nani badhyate, by the results of the action. Why? For the same reason given earlier, there being no doership, kartritva abhavat, in terms of knowledge. The person knows that he or she is not the doer and therefore is not bound by action or its results. Now, Krishna returns to the other person, the one who is not a sannyasi in terms of lifestyle, but who is a jnani. The jnani who is engaged in activity, who has duties to do, because he or she does not happen to be a sannyasi, continues to play the roles. With each role, there is a script, and this person fulfills the script. In the next verse, Krishna describes what happens when this type of jnani performs action. So the last few verses from I think 20, 21, 22 were all talking about a jnani who is basically a sannyasi. But remember, jnani can also be a grahastha. He can also be a king. He can also be a shudra. It does not matter what role he's performing in society. He can still be a jnani. So right now, till now it was like yadricha labha santushtaha. So whatever the sannyasi gets by chance, he takes it. Dvandvatita vimatsara. And he's above the pairs of opposites. He's not just in the middle path, he's above that. and is free from jealousy, the worst of all the Shadripus. So that means he is also free from Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, and Mada. Sama Siddhava Siddhaucha. What is Siddha Asiddha for a sannyasi? What is that success? What is he doing to get any success? Here Swamiji very nicely describes it is the getting of food, not getting food. That could be success, not success. Getting a quiet place to meditate, to contemplate. So, despite not having any of this, Samaha, he is neutral to this. Samasiddhava siddhaucha kritva api nanibadhyate. Although he is acting, he is not bound by his actions. He is not bound by the karma phala, because he is coming from the space of non-doership. Let's reflect on these. The Shadripus are very important for us to understand and see, reflect in our lives where and how they make their presence felt. In fact, in every interaction we have with others or with ourselves, the self-talk, they make their presence felt. So let's reflect and let's share our understanding of the Shadripus, the 6 afflictions. The worst of which is Matsara.
Is it that Mada comes first or Moha comes first? Like means there is a Dvanda everywhere only because of Moha or Mada. Because insufficiency feeling, I am insufficient or I don't have, the other Shadripus come up.
Yeah, the Shadripus originate because you have this feeling of incompleteness. That's the original sin, correct?
But in Mada also that is same.
Yeah, Mada, Moha is getting caught up in the false values of that the society gives. That is Moha, right?
Delusion. This gives pleasure. Thinking that this gives pleasure to us.
Mada is positive also and negative also.
Yeah, Mada can be inferiority complex or superiority complex. See, you impose superiority complex on yourself to cover up the feeling of insufficiency. See, if you go back, what is the Mada starts? It is because, where is that? See, Mada vanity occurs when a person does not believe in his or her capacity. So that is the basis of Mada. You do not know that you are complete. You do not know that you're all powerful. Dispassion, absolute, like those 6 attributes that Bhagavan stands for, you do not know. You come from the space saying, I am alpagyaha, I am kinchigyaha. You do not know your capacity. So we have this underlying sense of being useless, of being incapable. To cover that up, you put on an air of superiority. You boast. Oh, I am so wonderful. I am so this, I am so that. But deep down, underlying what is happening, it's coming from that sense of inadequacy. See, that is why Gurudev says, when you say everybody else is wrong and I am right, or vice versa, everyone is right, I am wrong. Both ways, Mada is acting. But a jnani is one who sees things as they are. You're able to do this, do it. That's it. That's your probably prarabdha. If others are doing it, let them do it. You don't sit and compare yourself. Again, Mada again comes with that. The Swamiji described this ego, how the ego becomes, that first humiliation. When you discover that there are other egos as well. But when you look at it from the standpoint of what Vedanta is telling us, that all this is just an illusion, then you see something settles down within you. Where is Mada then? Correct?
If you understand that everything is a play of consciousness,
Right.
just playing our game, that's all. Then where is Mata, and all that? So,
You just have to watch Gurudev, how he is. You know, he has so many reasons to feel boastful, to be vain, to be, praising art of living. But you see, where does he do that? People ask him, how come you have so many followers? And what does he reply to that? With a cheeky smile. He says, I don't create followers, I only create leaders. Everyone is a leader.
in fact, he says, I am not the follower. I am the follower because I protect them, like how Jesus protects all the sheep. I don't want them to get into wrong things, hurt by all the fence and all this. So like that, I am behind them. That's what in one of his old talks he mentioned.
So our prayer has to be to free us from these shadripus. They are inevitable because we are still caught up in this identification with the body, mind, sense, ego complex. But being aware of this, being aware of their genesis, slowly with that sword of awareness, that purushartha that we have to use, we can master them. Anybody else wants to share? If any one of you is able to, I know Simi, I think, did it one day, but if we can do it every day consistently, as in just jot down the subheadings and then post it in the group, it'll be a good thing for us to just go through it. See, because as and when we're reading, it's all very nice. I know all of us are in the age group where we tend to forget things. And this is about contemplating. In case we have to contemplate on what we have learned and read in the morning, later on in the evening. When you look back, you might not remember everything. But if we have these subheadings at least, then that will be like a lead for us to remember. It will help us remember. So if any of you can take up that little seva, volunteer to do that seva, that will be a big help to everybody in the group. So just the subheadings and just put it down in the group. Like, for example, today we learned about the Yadricha Labha Santushtaha Dvandvatito Vimatsaraha Samasiddhava Siddhaucha Kritvapi Nanibadhyate. So the middle way is a means. Mentioned Shloka 22. And then the middle way is a means. Then the sixfold afflictions. Then society's false values are imbibed by the person. See, we are living in an interdependent society. The creation itself is interdependent. So we are influenced by society and we influence the society both ways.
बाप म्हणजे जगण्याचं माप आहे. पाठीवरची थाप आहे.
I think someone is unmuted. Can mute yourself. Society's false values are imbibed by the person. To just be aware of this. See, we cannot go and change the values in the society. We can change our perspective of how we look at society and the values that it gives. That I am incompetent is the original problem. Jealousy, the least legitimate affliction of all. We'll stop here today. We'll take up verse 23. So till now, Krishna was talking about a jnani who is a sannyasi. The last 3 verses. But now he's going to talk about, because a jnani can be a non-sannyasi as well. So now Krishna returns to the other person. The one who is not a sannyasi in terms of lifestyle, but who is a jnani. The jnani who is engaged in activity, who has duties to do, because he or she does not happen to be a sannyasi, continues to play the roles. With each role, there is a script, and this person fulfills the script. In the next verse, Krishna describes what happens when this type of jnani performs action. And the verse goes, Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavastita chetasaha yajñāyācharatah karma samagram praviliyate. Meaning is the karma of one who is free from attachment, who is liberated, whose mind is rooted in self-knowledge, who performs for the sake of daily yajna, resolves totally. We'll take this up tomorrow. Jai Gurudev. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
एकमेवाद्वितीयं ये ब्रह्म निर्गुणं निश्चलं निर्विकारम् एकमेवाद्वितीयं ये ब्रह्म अत्र वेदान्तमेव प्रमाणम् बोधक सद्गुरु तत्त्वनिष्ठः ईश्वरानुगृहीतेन वेद्यम् एकमेवाद्वितीयं ये ब्रह्म ज्ञानगम्यं तुरीयं हृदिस्थम् आत्मरूपं हि तत् येन ज्ञातम् सोऽध्वनः पारमाप्नोति सत्यम् एकमेवाद्वितीयं ये ब्रह्म ब्रह्मज्ञस्य तु ब्रह्मैव सर्वं नास्ति मोहो भयं नैव दुःखम् तस्य स्वानन्दमग्नं हि चित्तम् एकमेवाद्वितीयं ये ब्रह्म निर्गुणं निश्चलं निर्विकारम् एकमेवाद्वितीयं ये ब्रह्म एकमेवाद्वितीयं ये ब्रह्म ब्रह्मैव सत्यम्.
Very beautiful. This song, I love it.